Hi, we'd like to thank you for tuning into the World Boxing Review radio show. My name is Aaron Snow. They call me the Hall of Fame trainer of champions. I would travel the world for past, present, and future stars. Today we have a very special guest. I'm coming live from Orlando, Florida, and our guest is coming in from Rochester, New York. We have the president of the Rochester Boxing Hall of Fame, Larry Lazardi. Welcome into the World Boxing Review radio show. Larry, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. It's always an honor to be on your show, Aaron. It just it brings me joy, and it's just nice to be on here with you and just to be honored with this appearance.
Hey, Larry, as you well know, how's the weather up there? Let's talk about that weather up that way, because, around this time in winter, it gets kind of rough with all that snow. Have you had much snow up there?
Yeah, we've had a little snow, not as bad as it has been in the past, but it's not too bad today. Tomorrow it's supposed to get down to 19s with a wind chill maybe of 10 or less, and Bills game is going to be pretty cold.
Oh, hey, man, I'm glad when we went into got inducted last year on your class in November, the weather was beautiful. All of us had a beautiful time. And again, I want to thank you for such a great time, and we enjoyed everything. But you're around again. It's 2025. You got a new class going in, Larry. Let's talk a little bit about that new class for 2025. Who's on the
All
top of the bill for you?
right, I had the pleasure of meeting Freddie Ladd last year. He came up on his own and he hung out with us, and I really enjoyed our time. And he was telling me about fighting at the Pyramid there in Tennessee when it first opened, and all those great stories. So I brought
Oh,
his name
oh,
first before the
okay.
board,
Mm-hmm.
and so if we got Fatal Freddie Ladd going in.
Uh-huh.
So I know
Yeah,
he's excited
Fearless
about that.
Freddie, man. Oh, a great guy, Freddie
Oh
Ladd.
man,
He has a lot of fights. He was a top contender. Has wins over Darrell Tyson and them, man. And it's a deed honor for him to be going in to the Hall of Fame. This is going to be his second Hall of Fame for 2025, man. He's going in the Indiana Boxing Hall of Fame with Craig Hawk, now the Rochester Boxing Hall of Fame with Larry Lazardi and Mark Irwin, man. Y'all guys are really putting it out here.
oh yeah. We've had the pleasure of just being honored to be around so long that we've been able to
Hmm.
duck some of the greatest fighters in history, and every class is just a beautiful thing that we're able to continue this on for so long.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, Freddie Ladd. Who else you got going in, Larry?
So we got a 1984 gold medalist. He's going in. His name is Henry Tillman. And again, just I've never had the pleasure of meeting him face to face. I've talked to him, just recently, and man, what a nice guy, man. He runs that charity there in California,
Hmm.
and I'm just looking forward to continuing our relationship with him. And we're also going to induct him. He was a number one heavyweight contender for a lot of years, and like I said, 1984 heavyweight gold medalist. I mean, you can't get a lot better than that. Heavyweight gold medalist is that's one of the top tiers you can have, man.
Ain't no question about it, man. Henry Tillman. A lot of people don't realize Henry Tillman was the guy who stopped Mike Tyson from being on the Olympic team, for going
Oh,
to the Olympics. He beat Mike Tyson, and then he end up winning the gold medal. So he was definitely qualified and to be, he fought a lot of people, include fought Mike Tyson as a pro, and he got stopped. But man, he was right in the hunt
yeah.
in that heavyweight division. So man, that's another great fighter and talent to be going in such a Hall of Fame, man. And it's going to be his second Hall of Fame in 2025, because he's going into the National Boxing Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. I was hoping to be the first, but the national beat me to it.
Yeah, Nashville got pulled the string on you, man. They got his name out there first, but he deserves to be going into all of them, man. What a gentleman and a scholar, man. Henry Tillman in. Who
Yeah.
else you got going in?
So we got a guy that's actually going to be going into the International Boxing Hall of Fame this year as well. Michael's second to none. It's going to be a great time, and I'm excited about him as well. I mean, it's not often that you get to have somebody that's in the international come and be in your internet in your Hall of Fame the same year he's going to international.
Well, Michael Nunn is that type of guy. Michael, like his name says, Michael's second to none, and believe that. And it's his 2025 looks like it's a great year for him, going into two boxing Hall of Fames at the same time. He's in quite a few, but to be going into international right down the road from you, and then in the Rochester Boxing Hall of Fame. He's going in June in the international, and then September, which we're going to be talking about in Rochester. Man, what a honor, man! You got a great group of guys that are going in. And what's the date, Larry?
So the date of our Hall of Fame this year, we're having it a little earlier, so the weather will be a lot nicer. So we don't have to worry. Well, it was nice when you came up, but it'll be nicer in September. But we're gonna do September the 20th will be our banquet. It'll
Uh,
be it's going to be a great time, like I said.
Yeah, man, September 20th, man. As the way these months are flying by, man, we're already in the 20th of 2025, man. 20 days into it, man, and this month is over halfway gone now, man. Time's just moving on. September be here before you know it, and that's why you plan so far ahead. People don't realize how time creeps up on you, but definitely, Larry. It's a great class that you got going in. So we got the date. Where where's the place?
It's
Uh,
going to be the same place it was last year. We're going to have it at the Brook House in Greece. It's a really nice restaurant slash party place, and you know, Aaron, you've been there. You had the food. It's good time, man. Good Italian home cooking.
oh yeah, man. That the gravy, that Italian gravy's flowing up there, man. The meal is the banquet style meal, but it doesn't taste like banquet style food. It tastes like great Italian home cooking, man. That gravy and that pasta, boy, woo, it just melts in your mouth, man. And the staff in that restaurant are very cordial, man. Like Italian restaurants are, very homely atmosphere. While they're feeding you, they're making sure you're happy uh, and everything. They wait on you hand and foot, second to none, man. And that's what makes your event just so great with the Rochester Boxing Hall of Fame. But you have someone else going in. You got some females going in there also, right?
That's correct. We're going to we've already contacted, and she's delighted to be acknowledged and to be coming into our Hall of Fame. But the local fight doctor here does all the amateur events. I'm sure people out there that have been to Rochester or Buffalo, Syracuse, have probably have seen her sitting there at ringside or had her go up to check on fighters or maybe even their own children to make sure they're able to continue and move on. And that's Doctor Margaret Libby. She's been doing this for a long time, and
Yeah,
it's
but
great to
we
have her
won't
going into our
tell her
home.
year, her age. But it seems like she's been doing it over 30 some years, Larry. And
Oh
for
yeah.
her to be going into the Rochester Boxing Hall of Fame, man, that's an indeed honor that you have put on her for her time and effort that she
Yep.
made being a doctor on that cutting edge. It's definitely an honor to be going in the Rochester Boxing Hall of Fame. I know she's proud.
Oh, she is. It was funny when I called her to tell her we voted her in, and she thought I was calling her to ask her to do an event to come up with the fight doctor. She was just excited that it wasn't that. Well, it's not that she would be, but that it was something that would put her name up there with all the greats.
Oh well, she deserved it. But you got I guess it was a surprise. Your board, somebody that works with the Rochester Boxing Hall of Fame, who holds an office position. Y'all surprised her on the vote, and you got her going in. Talk a little bit about her.
Yeah, our secretary, Lori Tobish, she's been with us for a long time. I'd have to go back and look and see when she actually started, but you know, she is just such a hard worker, and she does so much for us, selling raffle tickets, selling tickets to the events, selling tables for our Hall of Fame, and she does great book work, keeping notes as the secretary. And she last year she was battling cancer, and we wanted to let her know that we love her, and we wanted to honor her as well. So she's getting the Gino Arlotto award this year.
Boy, she deserves it, man. I seen her sitting at that door, all them people that were coming in there. She was getting everything in order, writing names, email addresses, all of that down. Ain't no telling, how much prep time she had leading into it, but she was busy all night making sure the people that were being inducted were taken care of, people coming in the door, writing everything down, following up, man. And boy, y'all have a heck of a team with the Rochester Boxing Hall of Fame. And we want to announce why you're here. You're here also that Mark Irwin next week, who's vice president of the Rochester Boxing Hall of Fame. He has teamed up with the World Boxing Review, as you know, Larry.
Yep.
He's going to be once a month. He's going to be doing feature stories on past, present, and future stars. What a talent Mark is! Excellent writers, man. I read the bios, what he wrote up in your program. Oh man, so beautiful, man. So that's why I asked him if he would like to do some of that stuff on the World Boxing Review. He's an excellent writer, right?
Oh man, Mark. So you guys that are normal listeners, chime in with questions, because Mark is like an open encyclopedia on boxing. I mean, you want to talk about somebody that studied the game, studied the punches. I mean, that guy will go back and watch, 1930, 30 fight videos that you can barely even make out, and break the fight down for you. And you don't get any better than those kind of guys that just can tell you rounds and times and punches, and argue with, oh no, that was a left hook, that wasn't a, it's side shot or a jab. He's very, very knowledgeable, and he's got a mind like I said, like a book, like an encyclopedia.
Oh, no question, man. It's Mark, man, is just incredible guy when it comes to boxing, and he's gonna be telling next week on our show about Jack Dempsey. Man, just the stuff that he's already written so far for us to look at it and view it, what he's going to be talking about. I mean, it's just his phenomenal writing skills that he has is second to none. So, our fans that listen to the World Boxing Review week in and week out around the world, they're going to be enjoying Mark for past, present, and future stars that he's going to be coming up with, man. So I see what you got at the Rochester Boxing Hall of Fame. Uh, what you're doing up there is something great. So last year, how did we do? What were some of the numbers?
So last year, it was, since I've been involved, as a board member, that was the highest grossing banquet we've had.
Wow, that's beautiful to hear that. I tell the guys, Larry Donald and Tim Austin, about that. That we I know there was a lot of people standing room only, and they were massed in there. So I'm glad that the people came out to support you, Mark. But even the mayor shows up at the Rochester Boxing Hall of Fame. Man, talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was nice that the mayor came out and supported us. Mayor Malik Evans, what a great guy. He's just one of those guys that's very personable, and he's not fake. Like, you can tell he's actually listening to what you're saying. He's not one of those guys that's like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. He's a real guy. Oh, looks like I lost Aaron.
Uh, yeah,
There you go.
we got knocked out here again, but yeah, the mayor's second to none when it comes down.
Oop.
What's called coming out, and he did a great speech up there, Mark. His speech was second to none. I mean, I was surprised when he spoke how much that he knew about boxing. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
it came over, man. He went straight down the history of boxing, where it's basically started in time. It went through the Roman and Greek Empire and bring it over to England and bring it right over here to America and put it right in Rochester where we were sitting. I said, "Go ahead, Mayor," and it was so nice. And I think he was shocked, Larry, by what y'all gave him. Talk about what the belt and stuff you gave.
Well, we wanted to do something really nice for the mayor and give him something he wouldn't forget. So we got him a WBC belt, and all the inductees signed the belt, and we presented it with the belt to him, and he told us he was going to cry. He'd never received something so nice.
Yeah, that WBC belt is nice, and he got up there and talked about Muhammad Ali, and Muhammad Ali and Jose Suleiman picture on the side of that belt. So he was looking and checking all that out uh, at the Rochester Boxing Hall of Fame, and he came over there and let me to visit the exhibit that I have, the Jack Johnson exhibit. And I was able to talk to him about Jack Johnson, and he loved it. What a jewel of a mayor he is.
Oh yeah. It's nice to have a mayor that comes out and supports you, and that, like I said, isn't fake. Actually listens to what you have, your questions and concerns, and it's great to be part of a community that has a mayor like that.
Oh, absolutely. Well, Larry, let's go back over that list for people. It seems like some people are just tuning in. Let's go back over that list, class of 2025 for the Rochester Boxing Hall of Fame. Go down that list again that's being inducted.
Okay, so first off, we got Freddie Ladd, Fatal Freddie Ladd, or Fearless Freddie Ladd. Then we have Henry Tillman, 1984 gold medalist heavyweight. He beat Mike Tyson, I think, twice in the amateurs.
Yes.
And then you have Michael Second to None, who's second to none. And I mean, I think his resume pretty much speaks for itself. He's going in international this year, and he was a champ at, I think, 3 weight classes. And he's just a great guy. I know I say great guy a lot, but he's very personable.
Yes, he is. Before he got the nod and put on the ballot, we were all together at the International Boxing Hall of Fame. When you bring the kids up there too, but we sat down a long time and talked to him, Michael Spinks, at the International. We were all sitting around laughing and joking together, man. And Michael Nunn is that's a character second to none. Like you said, he's real personable.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of these Hall of Fames. I mean, these people, if you've never been to a Hall of Fame, you actually get to go out and have a conversation with fighters and trainers and people that were involved in the sport. And I would say boxers are are definitely the most friendliest sports. I don't know if you call it division, but or a sport you can play. The fighters, after they get done, man, I tell you, they're just the most friendliest people you can meet.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Boxers are real genuine. They don't walk around like some tough guy or anything. They walk around real humble, because what they do is inside the ring, where they get paid for what they do, and they're in champions inside the ring and outside the ring, and that's what makes boxing so great. And these fighters are living legends. When you make it to a higher level in the sport of boxing, your name is etched in stone for a long, long time. Like we're still talking about Jack Johnson, John L. Sullivan, and Jack Dempsey. We're still talking about those all-time greats, Joe Louis, Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, George Foreman, we still talk about all of them guys.
Oh, definitely. And it's funny because these people will sit around and say, "Well, what if, Joe Louis fought Mike Tyson?" It's stuff that is this common ground when people come up to and talk about. It's just like you said, it's like your edge of the stone. These great champions are there, and people want to compare them to other great champions.
Well, let me tell you, what helps people. I'm glad that Turk Al Sheikh, Larry, with the New Ring magazine, just a week or so ago over in London, they had an award dinner um, over in London with the New Ring magazine that Turk Al Sheikh owns now, and he's doing such a yieldsman job to bring the forefront and bring fighters out on the forefront. At the same time, being able to make great matchups. Going down for pound list, he had over in London uh, for that great awards dinner over there. He had the who pound for pound. I think the only pound for pound fighter that wasn't over there was Gervonta Davis. And once Gervonta Davis uh, heard that all the pound for pound fighters that were over there, and he's in the pound for pound list, and he wasn't over there or invited. He went to screaming and yelling, "Hey, I'm over here! Why didn't you? Hey, yeah. Hey, you can't be, just saying you're retired, else you retire all your hard work. You know what I mean? Unless you get out there and go. And when you're young, Larry, as you well know, you have to keep going. And then hopefully one day you get the nods to be going in the Hall of Fames like that. But yeah, Turk Al Sheikh, while he was over there, Usyk, again, for the New Ring magazine. He got Fighter of the Year, well deserved. He
Yep.
got Round of the Year for Tyson Fury. So those fights that big fights that he has, Usyk is finally getting recognized for his hard work and his dedication for being a great champion in the cruiserweight division. He was undisputed champion, and then coming up and being undisputed heavyweight champion. The accolades should be second to none. In the meanwhile, you're talking about that heavyweight division, Larry. You know, Tyson Fury. They were trying to make that match between Usyk and Tyson Fury for number three.
Hmm.
I was looking at it from my viewpoint with the World Boxing Review, is that there was no need because Usyk beat. I like Tyson Fury, but Usyk beat him. They done fought twice, and Usyk done beat him twice, a unanimous decision. So it wasn't even close.
Yeah,
So
I was gonna add that I saw the same fights. I didn't think it was even close either. But I go on Facebook afterwards. Oh, Fury got robbed. I'm like, did you guys watch the same fight I watched? Like he just totally got outboxed. I mean, did Fury win a couple rounds? Yeah, he was able to jab him and keep him away and win a couple rounds. But I felt like Usyk had control of both those fights.
yes, he did, and to be recognized as rounds of the year and to be fighter of the year, man of the year for Ring Magazine, boy, uh, it's a great opportunity to be recognized for him. So he's now starting to receive those great accolades that come for great fighters, and he's one of those great fighters. Just like Tyson Fury is a great fighter. I just don't think at this stage of the game, Tyson Fury's on the other side of the mountain,
Yeah.
meaning he's going down, with age and stuff like that. So, you know, um, I think if he takes some time off and he'll get hungry. Guys retire and find the thirst and the hunger and the drive. Like he was saying, man, he got a good family. He has children and stuff like that. He got a pocket full of money. He got millions of dollars. He just has to, utilize those things that he had and enjoy his life, man. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He's a great champion in his own right. And at this stage of the game, if you don't want to do it, take the time, retire, because man, boxing's, people don't want to say it, but it's dangerous, man. And you
Yeah.
go in there halfway in shape and all that, and not wanting to put the time and the effort in, and your performance drop. When the performance drops, so do you drop. You know what
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean?
it's like what I heard from Teddy Atlas, and I'm sure he stole it from somebody else. But it's hard to get up in the morning and do road work when you're sleeping in silk sheets.
Yeah, when you're bathing in millions of dollars, most fighters, what makes them hungry and perform to get rich, the hunger drive is still there because they're still hungry. The pockets aren't full. But the hardest time in boxing for a fighter to fight is when the pockets are jam packed.
Yeah,
So
I hope Fury stays retired. Once you make that commitment, I mean, we've seen it a million times. These guys try to come back out of retirement. It's just usually rough. I mean, I can't imagine the percentage of someone that actually is successful after they come back from retirement, but it's very low.
yeah. Well, hey, for people just tuning in, we have Larry Lazardi, president of the Rochester Boxing Hall of Fame, that just announced his class at 2025. And we'll go back over that at the end of the show. Right now, we're just going for the past, the present, and the future stars and what's going on boxing today, because old news is just as well as new news if you ain't never heard it before. So we're going over some things to review it, and this is why it's called the World Boxing Review, because we review it. You know what I mean, Larry?
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, and it looks like Turk Al Sheikh has really stepped the game up with great matches that he wants to see. It looks like Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford have come to some type of agreement to fight in September. Man, two great pound for pound fighters, Larry, going to be going head to head in September. It looks like they're saying in Las Vegas. Man, what a matchup! What do you think about that fight, Larry?
Man, it's going to be a really good fight. I hope. You got Canelo. He's a little older now. He's taking some licks, so he's a little more vulnerable than he was. And then you got Crawford, who's stepping up in weight, which is something. Usually these guys take a couple warm up fights at that weight to get comfortable with it, but it looks like he's just going to dive right into that weight class, which is also pretty interesting. So I mean, you've got
Well,
two. What?
yeah, yeah. Well, look, that's why it's called pound for pound. That means that any weight you could take on any fighter in the world, whatever weight you're running at or fighting at, is that you can fight another fighter at a different weight and beat them. That's what pound for pound means. At any pound, you can fight a guy and whoop him at any given night. So we're going to see if that holds true with these two great pound for pound fighters, with Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford. Um, it's going to be interesting to see how it folds. Uh, Great style matchup. You got a slugger, as if you want to call it, against a slick southpaw, in and out, side to side. Very, very slick. Terrence Crawford is a great counter puncher, just like Canelo Alvarez is a great puncher. And we're going to see if the counter can fight the counter, who counters the counter, to make it an exciting night of boxing.
It will, and what's interesting too about Crawford's is I think his right, whether he wants to stand left or right, his jab is just as effective, which is a rare for a fighter that their jab is just as effective no matter what they decide to do.
Oh, absolutely right, man. You got these great things, a contrast in styles, and styles make fights. And this is a classic style matchup. We want to commend Turk Al Sheikh for a job well done, just to even get them two guys at the table in order to agree that they will fight in September. But look, man, Turk Al Sheikh, it looks like he has a dream matchup too, that he's bringing out in 2025. You know, you have Devin Haney, who's coming out. He's being matched up, and they're going to see if Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney and all of them can mix it up, man. I mean, it's going to be an exciting time for 2025.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It looks like it's going to be a good fight card, and like you said, you got Turk Al Sheikh there, and basically making these matches, going to these guys and saying, "What do you want? What do you want? All right, let's put this together and make this work." Instead of having promoters bicker who's going to be the A side and B side and all that other crap that happens.
Yeah, yeah. He's just saying, hey, if you want to fight, how much you want, and he decides if he's going to pay it or not. But hey, look, if you got it like that, you can do it like that, and it looks like he got it like that. That's why he's doing it like that, boy. And I want to say to Turk Al Sheikh, man, assalamu alaikum, raktu barakatu, man. Peace and blessings to you, and extra blessings for putting that mean green, that called dough, what you know, like Jack Johnson used to say, the donuts, baby. Your Turk Al Sheikh is bringing the donuts to the game, and boy, the fighters are stepping up to the plate second to none because they realize that the donuts ain't always going to be around, and they're trying to get a hold of some of them donuts. You know what
Yeah,
I
man.
mean?
Those donuts are those fresh Krispy Kreme donuts that come right off the line, man. They're still warm. It's still warm.
Yeah, yeah. It's a it's a great time, man. But yesterday, a heavenly birthday to the legend himself, the greatest of all times, who's in the Rochester Boxing Hall of Fame's birthday would have been on the 17th. You know, so to say happy birthday in heaven to the greatest of all times, Muhammad Ali, man. Isn't that
Oh,
something, Larry? And you got a story for the
oh my
Rochester
god.
Boxing Hall of Fame when you were young, right?
Oh my gosh. So I one of the I mean, I met Ali up at International, but meeting him here in Rochester was a lot different. I mean, what an amazing guy. And you hear stories about people, and I don't think the stories even do him justice of how friendly and easy to approach once you got near him, and he spent time, talk to you, jab you a little bit, and maybe say something funny. But yeah, I remember I was younger, and I made the mistake of he asked me who the best fighter in the world was, and I told him Carmen Basilio. He thought that was the funniest thing, and he said, "Carmen, you hear this guy over here thinks you're the best fighter." Woo! He started, but I kept the program. Who Ali signed and Chavallo signed. It was a fundraiser for Chavallo, and I also kept the ticket of the table that we sat at. Um,
Wow, that's a
Man,
beautiful thing.
I will probably never ever give that up. But that was one
Hey,
of the most memorable moments of my life. And like I said, I mean, Ali's demeanor, his mannerisms are just like you heard. I mean, I remember he went back into the kitchen and he talked to the cooks and the waitresses, and he signed whatever they had to sign. And I mean, if he didn't have something to sign, he'd tell you, go get something. Hey, whatever you want, man. And I think he spent a good 45 minutes to an hour back there just talking to them.
yeah,
Um,
man, that's the way Ali was. But for the boxing enthusiasts, you know, Angelo Dundee trained Carmen Basilio first. That was Angelo Dundee's first champion, and then
yes.
Muhammad Ali that he trained, man. And Angelo's in the Rochester Boxing Hall of Fame too, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah, he's in. And, again, very very personable guy. Man, the stories. I'm sure you heard the stories, Aaron. Man, that guy's got stories he can tell you about different fighters and things they did and some of the crazy wacky things they did.
Oh
But
yeah, yeah, no question, no question about that, man. So it looks like 2025, man, is moving quite bit fast here. But you know, Martin Luther King's birthday uh, celebration is the weekend, and Monday is the holiday, and we want to with this Martin Luther King holiday, man, someone that stood up for the downtrodden and the poor, and the one kicked to the side for human rights, civil rights, and created change that was second to none to help all Americans. And we're just happy and saluting his work that he's done with kids and all of that, but also his family who is keeping his legacy alive, just like Muhammad Ali legacy. And I'll tell you what, next month for Black History Month, Larry, up at the Fighters Heaven in Deer Lake, Pennsylvania, Muhammad Ali's training camp in Deer Lake, which is now called the Fighters Heaven. We're going to have Black History Month celebration at the end of Black History Month, February 22nd from 11 to 4, where we got to, close up. But that's going to be free, all the food and refreshments and entertainment and speakers. And you have committed, Larry, that you're going to be attended, man, and that's going to be a pleasure to have you there.
Yeah, I've never been to Fighters Heaven. I'm really looking forward to. I'm looking forward to see all the rocks, and hopefully you and I can get a picture there next to the Jack Johnson rock. That'd be
Oh yeah,
something
that
I'd love
Jack
to do.
Johnson rock is second to none. The great Muhammad Ali was the one when I was a kid who taught me about Jack Johnson, because he loved Jack Johnson so much. He talked about him all the time in his training camp. Matter of fact, when he beat Sonny Liston at the post-fight interview, he told everybody that he used the punch to beat Sonny Liston that Jack Johnson had developed, called the Yanker punch, and it was Steppen Fletcher uh, who had told him about it and told him how he used to do it, and Ali used it, and that's the way he whooped Sonny Liston. So yeah, at that camp, the Fighters Heaven, it's owned by Mike Madden. Uh, you know, Madden, the games and all of that. The football coach, and his son owns it. So, and his father was a big uh, fight guy. He loved the fights. Also, Mike's father, and he's letting us come there at the camp that he restored. The Fighters Heaven to its original form, the way it was when Muhammad Ali's training camp, and people that come there are going to be able to experience history, because we got it on the historic roster for his great fights with the Thriller in Manila, the Rumble in the Jungle, where he trained there, Larry. The state of Pennsylvania put the camp on the historic roster. So it's a historic site there at the camp, and we're going to be celebrating all of that, plus all the African American boxers that paid the price. Some of them got credit, and some of them haven't got credit, but we're going to be celebrating each and every one of them. And it's not despite all the great fighters that boxing history have, but Black History Month was started to give recognition to African Americans who have paid the price in some form, in some way, and that's what we're following in order for fighters that have paid contribution to history. And boy, Rochester Boxing Hall of Fame is trenched in history. So this dinner in September, how many years is it?
Well, it would have been 35 banquets, but we had two. We couldn't have a banquet because of COVID. It was strict here in New York as far as having get-together. So we went 2 years out having a banquet, but we're at 33 banquets. But we
Wow.
started Rochester Boxing Hall of Fame started in 1990, and before that, the people that that founded the Rochester Boxing Hall of Fame came from the Rochester Boxing Association. That was the old Hall of Fame. That started in 1978. So since 1978, there's been some form of a boxing Hall of Fame in Rochester, New York.
Oh wow, wow, that's beautiful. And hey, look, Larry, we're going to take it to London now as we travel around the world. Um, Eddie Hearns and it looked like Frank Warren are going to be a 5 for 5 fight series that they're putting together, like they did last year. They're going to have five bouts uh, that match up with Eddie Hearn's fighter against Frank Warren fighters. And last year that turned out to be exciting, and we're waiting to hear to hear that matchup.
Yeah, man. Frank Warren really took it that he heard last year. I think his fighters won every fight. Well, that's got to be a tough one for him to swallow. You lose all your
Yeah,
fights, and then you lose it on your network too. On top of that,
yeah. We're going to see if 2025 is a better year for that. But let's see how all of that works out for him. And it looks like Turk Al Sheikh, with Tyson Fury retiring, is trying to put a fight together with Anthony Joshua fighting Dante Wilder, who's coming out. I don't know if he will retire, but he's had a little layoff, and not little in terms of a couple months. It's been uh, a year or so.
yeah,
So we want to see what on paper, that matchup looks dynamite. Because with Dante Wilder, the punch never leaves the fighter. But whether he can connect it against Anthony Joshua is another story, and we're going to see if Anthony Joshua, if he does get clipped on the chin, can he overcome the obstacles of getting hit with a great shot and get up and see if he can finish off the fight? So that on paper with that heavyweight matchup is a great matchup, man.
yeah. That's a tough one because Wilder just looks so rough the last couple fights I've seen him in, and I mean I know Joshua hasn't been the best either, but again, like you said, Joshua's got a glass jaw, man. He hasn't reacted well to hard punches, so it could be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting matchup. But Larry, man, look at it. We're talking about the heavyweights, man. The heavyweight division is in motion again with big fights and guys who have big names. You know what I mean? And you got uh, the boys. He's fighting Parker for the IBF heavyweight championship that he has. He's defending it against Joe Parker coming up here, and that belt that he has is the one Usyk uh, gave back to the IBF. And they're trying to make Usyk and the boys' number two fight if he comes out the victor. We'll see how that fares out in the making and see if that can come materialize. But that fight with Joe Parker is going to be a dynamite fight.
Yeah, that should be an excellent fight. Like you said, you got a counter puncher versus a guy who likes to come forward.
Hmm.
And Du Bois has changed. He's since he took that loss. Actually, I saw the change down there at that card you were at, the Don King card there in Florida. I mean, he just totally he's changed mentally as a fighter. I don't know if it took him a loss to wake up or to train harder, but man, he's definitely turned, and he's definitely a lot better fighter now than he was back then.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. He's come a long way, baby, to get where he is today, and he's champion of the world, and that's all that counts. Um, people all the time say, well, Usyk is the undisputed champion. I said, but the only thing the guys can do, the fighters can do, is follow the rules.
Hmm.
You follow the rules, and this is what the boys is doing. He's following the rules, and following the rules got him a shot at the title shot, elimination when Usyk let go of that belt, and he won it. So he's champion of that organization, the IBF, which is a great organization to represent as being champion. So I think that Parker and the boys fight is going to be dynamite, Larry. So that's coming up.
Oh yeah, I think that'll be one to watch.
Yeah.
That's definitely, that's definitely going to be a good one.
Yeah. So, you got those kind of fights.
You got the Bivol
That
fight, the
yeah,
Bivol better beat of. That's his name, right? Better beat
yeah,
of. Yeah, that should be a
yeah,
good one too.
yeah. That's coming up, and boy, Turk Al Sheikh has put together that fight.
Yeah, I think
What
I think Parker and Dubai's are fighting on the undercard. I think they're the co-main event. I think.
they're the co-main event. You're
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely right. So that's going to be a barn burner in itself with those two being matched up. Bevo and Benavidez, man, with a dynamite matchup with two great champions, and we're going to see who comes out on the top of that and what's next for them. The winner, who they're going to be matched up after the win. It seems like when promoters are making fights now, they got to put uh, two scenario: one wins, one lose. What we're going to do with this one, what we're going to do with that one, or who's going to be matched up with this or that one. And it looks like Turk Al Sheikh has come up with a remedy for the best, fighting the best, and he ain't forgetting the rest because he's given an outlet to the WBC in order for 8-10 round fighters to go in a tournament. And let's see who signed up for it. Let's see how they're going to do. Let's see who's going to come out and where they're going to be ranked, and see if those guys in the tournament are going to be able to fight for these positions that's
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, those tournaments are huge. They can change lives. Look at what happened with Andre Ward. I mean, he came out of that middleweight tournament. Nobody saw him coming. He knocked out Frotch, and he beat up a bunch of other guys he shouldn't have been in. That people felt like he shouldn't have been in the ring with, and won that tournament. That's what made his career. So started his career, and I mean, it was started before that, but it shot it forward.
Oh, yeah. Hey, look, the guest that we have on here today is Larry Lazardi, president of the Rochester Boxing Hall of Fame, who just announced his class of 2025. And Larry, if you can go back over that list again, for those who are tuned in late, and then
Okay.
we'll get ready to close out.
All right, sounds good. So we're gonna number one, we got Fatal Freddie Ladd. He's going in. He came up last year as a guest, and we're gonna induct him this year. What a great guy! Uh, good fighter, entertaining to watch. Fought at the Pyramid there when it opened. Henry Tillman, 1984 Olympic gold medalist, beat Tyson in two amateur fights, and he took his spot on the Olympic team. That's why he won the gold.
Hmm.
And we have Michael second to none, baby, coming in. So international gets them first because they're scheduled, then we got them later. So that's not a bad thing.
And the two women that are
Oh,
going in.
our local fight doctor that does Syracuse, does Buffalo. She's going in. Dr. Margaret Libby. She does most of the local events around here. She's been involved in the sport for, man, like you said, about 30 years. I can't remember a fight that an amateur fight I've been to where she wasn't the doctor, and she
Mhm.
just not turn it down. She's always there for the kids, man, and it's nice to be able to induct her into our Hall of Fame. And then our secretary, who was battling cancer last year, Lori Tobish, she's going in as well with the Gino Arlotto Award.
Oh, wow. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. That well, the class of 2025 for the Rochester Boxing Hall of Fame. Well, look, Larry, it was
I was
great
going to tell you, we
having
are
you.
going to have Amateur of the Year. When we get that also, maybe we'll have it both on your show, and we can do it live when we do that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you're gonna be able to announce that coming up, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, well, hey, look, you heard it from Larry Lazardi, president of the Rochester Boxing Hall of Fame. What a great morning day we have, and thank you for coming on the show, the World Boxing Review. In closing, I like to say this, man. Happy New Year to each and every one of you. And it looks like boxing it got its fire back. And boy, there's some great fights that are going to be happening in 2025. And we want to thank you for tuning into the World Boxing Review radio show. My name is Aaron Snow. They call me the Hall of Fame trainer of champions as we travel the world for past, present, and future stars. Thank you, Larry.
Thank you.